Hello Year 10, it's Mr. Cullerton here. I'm just going to run through all of the work that we are expecting you to complete during your period of lockdown for the Welsh Back. As you know, you're currently working on the Global Citizenship Challenge, and I'm going to begin with starting on task 2 of the Global Challenge. Now, you're probably aware that you're not quite done with task 1 yet, and your teachers will revisit that when you're all back in the school building. But this period of time away from school is ideal to be able to complete and make a good start, at least with the raise an awareness task. If you do have any questions about this, obviously during the time that you're supposed to be in your Welsh Back lesson, your teachers will be on Teams and available to answer any questions or point you in the right direction. So please do make use of that facility if you need it. Okay, so task 2 has a number of aims. You will need to generate some ideas on how to raise awareness for our global issue. In this case, it's the use of single-use plastic. We will perform a couple of SWOT analyses on different ways to raise awareness, and we need to make a choice then on which one we're actually going to create. This is what this PowerPoint will go through, and this is what we expect you to do for the first hour. Okay, so your first task that we need you to do is to create a mind map to show the different ways in which you could raise awareness of the dangers of single-use plastic. Example, you could create a poster or an infographic to display facts about the issue of recycling plastics. Now, you want your mind map to be as detailed as it possibly can be. The example that you can see on your screen right now is quite basic, so I would recommend that you spend about 10 minutes on this. The more detailed, the better. When that is complete, we are looking at the SWOT analysis. You've got to decide on an appropriate method of raising awareness of this issue, and performing a SWOT analysis on 3 or 4 of your ideas from your previous mind map will really help with that. Now, the issue you might have is that you're not entirely sure what SWOT stands for. SWOT analysis is an acronym. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. So you take an idea from your mind map and you apply SWOT to that. What are the strengths of your idea? What advantages does it have? Why is this method better than doing something else? What will attract others to read this form of raising awareness? The weaknesses are pretty much the opposite. What could you improve? What should you avoid? What are people likely to see as a weakness? What factors will make people lose interest in reading the raising awareness method that you have chosen? Opportunities. What good opportunities can you spot? For example, posters. They can be put up in one building, or they could be spread around the local community, attracting a bigger audience. Are there any opportunities to extend that raising awareness campaign, for example, in local events that go on in the community? Threats. What obstacles do you face? How are other global issues promoted? Is the change in technology threatening the campaign, and could any of your weaknesses seriously threaten your raising awareness campaign? So it's a lot of information to take in, so I do find very often that seeing an example really does help. So my example here is of a video. You've decided that you might want to do a video on the use or the dangers of the use of single-use plastic. The strengths: high visual impact. You can show a range of striking images, footage of that, and it's going to have a huge impact on people. You can you obviously reach a wider audience with that, and sound and video effects can be used effectively. The weaknesses, of course, is that it does cost to create a video. It's difficult to create a professional looking video with limited time, and you might simply not have the resources to be able to do it, so no access to a video camera, for example. Opportunities with a video, though: you could upload that video to YouTube, and you may go viral. You might reach a huge global audience, potentially. You can add special effects to the video to create an eye-catching and engaging video, and that video can then be shared through various social media platforms to promote the issue. The threats for using a video then is that it could be just unprofessional, poor quality if it's not developed enough, and therefore leading to a poor campaign. The video may not have a high enough impact if it's not finished in time due to the lack of time available. So those are all things to consider. You need to perform 3 to 4 SWOT analysis on any of the examples that you came up with in your raising awareness ideas mind map. I would recommend that you spend a fair bit of time on this because, again, the key is in the detail. That's where you're going to pick the marks up. Again, any questions, if you're not sure if you're on the right line, please feel free to have a chat with your classroom teacher on Teams, send an email. Failing that, you can always ask me. Now, the third and final thing we want you to do for this first lesson of Welsh Back in lockdown is your justification of your final idea. We need you to write up a paragraph to justify your final idea. Which of the things from your mind map are you going to produce about the dangers of single-use plastic? Discuss the strengths and opportunities of your final idea to justify why you've chosen this method. This is, in a nutshell, putting the bullet points of your SWOT analysis into formal English. You need to discuss how this chosen idea will be suitable to meet the needs of the target audience. That target audience is raising awareness with young people. Once again, the key to getting the big marks in Welsh Back is to make sure that you have put in as much detail as you possibly can. So spend a good 10 to 15 or even 20 minutes justifying your final idea. Now then, when this work is complete, please ensure that you bring it to your next Welsh Back lesson. You've got two choices here. You can either save it to USB and then bring that to your lesson, or you could email the work to yourself so that you can then access it in class. It's probably best if you can complete this on Word, and then you can just copy and paste everything over. Or failing that, if you do it manually on a piece of paper, we can always scan that in, or you can do it online then when you have more time in class. Once again, if you've got any questions, you can feel free to use Teams facility to speak to your class teacher, or you can, of course, contact me via Hub.